Mr. Turner? It's me, Mr. Turner! I'm driving with my feet!
Hello, welcome to LTM Reviews. We'll get you caught up on the oldest movies. Roald Dahl's The Witches. Based on the book by Roald Dahl, you got a little boy named Lucas who lives with his grandma in a hotel. Or actually, they're just moving into a hotel for a while. Lucas comes across a group of witches, or some sort of group of witches, that are having this secret meeting. One of them is a leader, played by Angelica Houston. Lucas accidentally gets into the witches' little community, and then the witches start turning him into a mouse in a very dark and kind of grotesque way. So once Lucas is turned into a mouse, his grandma tells him that he has to go stop the witches before the witches turn all the children into mice too in all of England. Okay, so right away, when this movie first came out, it was made by the Jim Henson Company. Okay, Jim Henson sort of had it. This is either before or after Jim Henson died. And this is the movie that bombed at the box office, though it has gained a cult following. So most of the criticism came for the fact that this was a really scary movie for kids. And I can see where the critics are coming from. This is a really dark and intense film. Like I said before, once Lucas starts getting turned into a mice, that's where things start to get really creepy. And that's when the witches start coming in. And basically, I can see where they're going from. But you know what? This is a really fun movie. I had a blast with this movie. Basically, like I said, Roald Dahl was an author who had a very, very interesting childhood. I don't want to go into Roald Dahl's details because I didn't really learn him that much. But let's just say I think Roald Dahl had a very hard life. Kind of like Maurice Sendak or Dr. Seuss, where he lived at a time when wars were going on and stuff like that. So, in this book, or in this movie, Jim Henson Company decided to make a movie that was very, very more faithful to the source material. Because the movie's dark too, but I heard the book was more sadistic. Okay, so the movie, let's focus on the movie now. I like the puppetry in this movie. I mean, the witches are really terrifying nowadays, don't get me wrong, but it really looks really terrifying as far as horror kids movies go. It's really scary. Angelica Houston's performance is really, really great. I mean, I'm not a big Angelica fan, but she is really great in this movie. It's like this is her own movie. She knows what he's doing. The puppetry, like I said, is really good. Lucas is a very cool kid. I like him in this movie. Now, technically, him as a mouse is really interesting, and I like the creative ways and the creative adventures he goes on. I like that. I like some of the creative things with the puppetry. I think I heard that he actually had to use real mice in order to do some of the big stuff. The puppetry is well done. Angelica Houston, Lucas's character is really, really nice. The story is very faithful to the source material. Now, I've never read the book myself, but I've heard that this was really faithful to the book. And as far as a film on its own, it's really fun. The side characters like the grandma and the other characters, I'll be very honest, I enjoy them too. I like the grandma. I forgot who she's played by, but she does pretty well done. The pacing, I mean, it's 90s usually. I mean, it's 90s pacing you'd expect from most kids movies, so I'm not gonna put too much flag in that realm. Basically, if I did have one criticism, that would be the backstory of the witches. I thought it was a little bit confusing, but it's okay. But I'm not gonna put too much flag. Like I said, I'm not gonna put too much flag in that realm. So overall, The Witches is a very dark and intense kids story. I wouldn't recommend this for kids because like I said, they could be really scared. But then I kind of thought about it a little bit. Kids are much more credit than what they really deserve. I think that's, when kids are scared because if kids are scared, they won't go out to go trick or treating or go on great adventures on their own without their parents around. Kids used to like dark kid stuff like this, and I was one of the few kids that would watch dark stuff because I like to be scared and go on my own adventures and use their imagination, And The Witches could be a good example of that. If kids can watch this and not be afraid by all the creepy images and stuff, they can probably go out on trick-or-treating or, I don't know, watch High School Musical. I don't know, something like that. It takes a lot of chances. So overall, I enjoyed The Witches. Is it my favorite? Definitely not. Would I have liked it a lot more if I read the book? Absolutely. Would I love to read the book? Definitely. I love Roald Dahl. He's the author of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Fantastic Mr. Fox. So, I enjoyed The Witches. I give The Witches a 9 out of 10. It's a very intense movie, maybe for young kids, but I definitely recommend it for those who love 90s movies. Because that's when this was made, 1990. So, I think this was I could be wrong, but this could be the last film, along with Ninja Turtles movie from the 90s, that it was the last film before Jim Henson died, and, well, basically, I think it's ever going to be the last film he's ever made. But anyways, I recommend The Witches. And that's all for it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Please subscribe, comment below, let me know. What's your favorite 90s movie? Let's put it that way. This is LTM signing out. I'll see you guys next time.
Gather around, everybody. I've got a sad story to tell.
The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test.
Fine. May I please take your order?
I'll have, let's get naked. Get back to work, Mr. Squidward.